Spellbound is a fairy tale-inspired actual play D&D podcast. It follows the adventures of Princess Theia, the human sorceress, played by Lydia.r.miller.
Well, at least I have a horse. Wait, how am I going to ride this horse? Am I supposed to ride this horse?
Delaelia, the elven ranger, played by Kelsea.
What is this mummery?
Feliks, the gnome fighter, played by Rebecca Muñez.
I wish I could act, but not good at it. I'm a terrible liar.
And me, your DM, Emma Carter. Welcome, listeners. My name is Emma Carter. I am a freelance theater artist currently based in Kansas City, Missouri, and I will be your dungeon master, or DM, for Spellbound. If you listened to episode 0, props to you, and thank you for coming back for episode 1. I am happy to say our audio quality will be much better for the next 3 episodes. Thank you, Nick Price. We couldn't have done it without him, and it will only continue to get better as we keep playing. Spellbound is an actual play D&D podcast. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the term, that means we're going to practice collaborative storytelling using the mechanics of Dungeons & Dragons as our structure. Basically, D&D is collaborative storytelling, and I truly believe everyone can enjoy D&D if they give it a chance. So if you're new, if you're my mom, and you're listening and you're unsure because you've never played D&D before, worry not. All 3 of our players are professionally trained theater artists working in Kansas City, but they're coming at this from all different levels too. Lydia has never even played before, so we'll try to explain as we go along. We are going to start with some reintroductions, followed by a summary of episode 0 led by the Spellcast. If you would like to skip straight to the narrative, please fast forward to about 7 minutes in. Thank you for listening, and I will see you in the story. I'm Emma Carter. I'm the DM, and I've been playing D&D for 2 years, but this is my first time DMing and anything that's longer than like a one-shot.
My name is Kelsea, and I play D&D at least weekly, if not quite a lot more, and have been for 2 years, but I played with my dad, used to DM the original D&D at our house for us, and yeah, love RPGs, love board games, love games. And love fantasy a lot.
This explains so much.
Yeah, so much. I love that. Backstory activated.
Yeah.
What's your experience with D&D and role-playing, Rebecca?
My experience is a little. I've been in the situation where I join up with campaigns that don't go anywhere or one-shots. I've done some honey heists, and I love those.
Honey heists, yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Is what I do. And yeah, it's just something I've always been interested in, but it wasn't until I moved to Kansas City that I discovered how popular it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really great way to, I find it a great way to do practice improv.
Mm-hmm. It's really hard to get people to commit, though, to like a long-term campaign, and it's fair. Like it's like church.
Yeah, it's a commitment.
Yeah.
For anybody who did not listen to our Session 0 podcast, I, Lydia, who is playing Theia, have never played D&D before.
Yep. And that's okay. So last time, all of your characters of Kelsea, so Delaelia.
You're nailing it. Delaelia.
I had to hear it so many times when I was editing. I was like, I'm never going to forget this name now.
Yay.
And so Delaelia traveled to Highguard. Delaelia is searching for some kind of dark force at work in the world because she's on her own mission, and it's led her here. Feliks wants to be a hero, and he kind of just ended up in Highguard because it seems like he's lost and he doesn't know where he is.
Yeah, he was just kind of wandering, and there's just these really tall walls out in the distance, and he's like, well, that looks fun. Okay.
So Feliks has kind of just found himself. Feliks made friends with Sabine, the handy woman.
Beautiful Sabine.
Everybody has a crush on Sabine.
We all agree that Sabine is hot.
And you helped her build her pyre. You also met Princess Theia, Lydia's character, because Lydia's character Theia helped you carry the wood to the pyre. And Lydia, your character, she was hiding out in the tower, kind of doing her own thing.
Yeah.
Her Robin friend was like, you got to get your butt out there. And so Theia learned that she has a performance that she's going to have to perform that night. We met a lot of characters who I'll reintroduce as we go through it today.
We met my uncle. He's the one I'm excited about.
Yes, Duke Roger. I love Duke Roger. So we met a lot of the mean people of the court, the lovely Mavery, your nursemaid, Lawrence the bard, who is really stressing you out.
He's a stressful human.
He is a stressful human. And it all kind of culminated with the knowledge that tonight is going to be the Spring Equinox Festival. I'm going to call it Springtide because there wasn't any name for it other than the equinox. So it's Springtide. It's the Springtide Festival.
Springtide.
Ooh, and also
Highguard.
oh God.
And they will be singing that in the street.
Oh Lord. But also my brother came back and he's apparently slain a wolf.
And he told everyone.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. So Dashing did make his entrance, the beloved Prince Dashing. He told everyone he slayed a wolf. And Delaelia, you had been talking to Devlin about how there were rumors of a wolf being preying on people in the nearby villages. So that's something people have been a little bit nervous about, been gossiping about. And one more thing, Felix, that you learned that no one else has learned yet. You heard two young people, two youths, it's just a hard word for me to say. Youths. Talking about Princess Theia, kind of making fun of her and saying that she might be cursed. Mm-hmm. So that's what.
Rude.
I don't know if you know that Theia's the princess yet, though. I don't.
Yeah, no, she figured. He figured it out.
For my money, if someone's cursed, that's not a reason to make fun of them. It's a reason to be scared of them and reverent, maybe.
Well, they did.
And she's royalty. You'd think somebody would end up in the stocks at this point.
Y'all gonna die.
All right. Now that we're all caught up, the story will continue. Welcome to Eos, land of mystery and magic. Only 300 years have passed since the original brave adventurers aboard the Ever After left their home far, far away and sailed across the unknown sea. Little did they know when they set foot on her fertile soil that Eos would be a land of such beauty and possibility. The original explorers, a crew of humans, elves, half-elves, dwarves, gnomes, halflings, and more, would be the founding members of a new era in her lands. Eos, as the world knows her, is relatively new, but her history is ancient. Kingdoms made up of villages and farmland dot her landscape, but the majority of her is untamed, unknown to the settlers, populated by the inhabitants of the enchanted forest. Many have traveled to Eos in search of adventure and glory. Others are drawn by the siren song of her mystery. What ancient wisdom lies within her? What dark powers lie in wait to be harnessed? And others wonder, will her dawn be swallowed up by darkness? We open on the Kingdom of Highguard, one of the strongest human civilizations in the realm, most recognizable for the large wall that separates it from the outside world. The sun has just begun to set on the 19th day of the month of Chess, and above him a full moon shines. It is Springtide, the spring equinox, and the evening festivities have already begun. The usually quiet village located just outside the palace is now alive with excitement. The village square is decorated with flowers and lanterns. Long wooden tables form a circle around a large wood pyre and a humble makeshift stage. The aroma of roasting meat and fresh baked bread wafts through the air, and a single bard in a poofy shirt and a flouncy hat plays a jaunty tune on his mandolin. It's a cool night, but not cold, and the fire will surely keep everyone warm soon enough. Princess Theia, you currently stand just inside the entrance hall. The nobility are preparing for their grand entrance, and everyone is lining up for the procession. You find yourself nearest to your brother, Prince Dashwood, or Dashing, as the locals refer to him. He's currently engrossed in his own reflection. His valet holds a mirror which Dashing uses to fix his shiny blonde hair. You are also near your uncle, Duke Roger, the local marshal. Delaelia, you are sitting at one of the long wooden tables beside your newfound companions, the gnome fighter Feliks, the elven healer Elesarial, and her human partner Maurice. Your table is nearest to the village temple and their home. Sitting across from her, you can't help but ruminate over the conversation you two had prior to the event. Feliks, you find yourself tucked between Delaelia and your newfound friend, Sabine, the town's carpenter, whom you helped to build the festival pyre earlier the same day. She has changed from her work clothes into a cleaner, more formal set of breeches and white tunic. Currently, she is sneaking carrots to your steed, Ramsay the goat, whom she has taken a liking to. Ramsay rests under the table, munching happily. I would like to shift our focus to Delaelia first. So, Delaelia, you are sitting at the table with Elesarial, Feliks, Maurice, Sabine. Everyone is starting to eat. The festivities have started to begin. Everyone's kind of waiting for the grand entrance of all the royalty before things really kick off. But people are having fun. How are you feeling? What are you doing?
Delaelia is trying to act like this is totally normal and chill for her. She's I belong here. And but in that awkward way where she keeps dropping stuff,
Aww.
And is just cheeks burning with the fact that she is so alien.
Mm-hmm.
She's very aware of it. And probably no one is even noticing her, but she is I'm just a hurt thumb.
Well, in that vein, I want to kind of do a little flashback scene here. We're going to flash back to earlier today when you first met Elesarial. Elesarial invited you into her home. Feliks was allowed to come along because of a very good roll. She just really trusted that guy. He's got that face,
Yeah,
So she invited you inside. She offered you both a cup of tea, had you sit down around the table, and Elesarial informed you, Delaelia, in no uncertain terms, she said, "You are not safe here."
Mm-hmm. Did we ever figure out why?
Well, we can roleplay it right
Let's do it. Let's RP it.
Okay. So Elesarial hands you a cup of tea, and she sits down across from you at her own dining room table. And her home is humble, but it's very clean. You can see that it's a well loved and cared for home. It's not anything too grand, but you feel safe here. And I need to remember not to say that's my thing. Elesarial hands you the tea, and she looks you square in the face, dead in the eye, and she says, "You are not safe here."
Why am I not safe here?
You do understand nobody from the Enchanted Forest has visited Highguard in 10 years. Why are you here now?
Well, I am here because I've noticed a great danger, not just to us in the forest, but to the people here, and I want to help.
Elesarial nods a little bit, and she glances away as if she's thinking, and she says, "Nevertheless, you are not safe as it currently stands. You are exactly the kind of person that the king and his men would happily throw into the dungeon." And she gets up and she walks over to her table. She's got a little area where you can tell that she mixes her medicines, she mixes her herbs together. And she takes from a little box, she pulls out an earring. Would you like to describe what you think it looks like?
Yeah, I think it's probably a gold hoop with just a jewel on the end, like a jewel that can move on it,
And she walks back over to you, Delaelia, and she offers it out to you, and she says, This will protect you for one night. If you wear this, you may join the festivities tonight, and you will go unnoticed, unless, and she eyes you, she says, unless you take any suspicious action which might draw attention to you. But it will help you if you wish to stay for the festivities tonight. But I recommend that you leave tomorrow, because whatever you're searching for, you will only find danger here.
Lady, do you imply that it is my race that makes me unsafe here?
And she furrows her brow and she sighs a little bit and she says, "It is not because you are elven. I live here.
Yeah.
The adventurers who traveled to Eos, we were of all races." And she smiles a little bit because she is one of the elves who traveled here originally. Elves live longer than humans, and so she has been alive quite a bit longer. And she says, "We were of all races. What makes this place unsafe for you is just the fact that you are not from here. You are from the forest, and per the king's inclination, anything from the forest, anything magical of nature, is a danger in Highguard. Since the queen's passing, the king doesn't seem to recognize that magic is part of Eos, an element equivalent to air, water, fire, and earth, and he is determined to weed it out. If they know who you are, and if they know where you come from, they will assume that you are up to no good."
And
And
sounds like they have something to hide.
And she smiles a little bit again and kind of like looks to the side and doesn't quite answer you on that. And she turns to you again and she says, "Where are you from in the forest? I have not been there myself."
Oh. My people are, like yours, an ancient one. I know that we come from a different line, but where I come from, if you have accomplished a great deal of things in your life and made an impact, then you can live on forever as one of the board of rulers, basically, an ancestor. We are from Faerun, is my land, and we do not often occupy ourselves with human things. As such, I would probably not be welcome to return home because of my meddling here.
And she nods and she looks at you and she says, "Is that why you are truly here? Because you wish to accomplish something worthy of eternity?"
It isn't. I'm resolved that I probably will not.
Feliks, you are here also in this room. Do you have any thoughts? What is he doing?
Pressed up against the wall.
Is he just drinking his tea?
Yeah, I mean, the lady just gave her an earring, and she's like, "This will keep you from getting killed," and he's just kind of like, "All right."
Elesarial turns to Feliks and she smiles and she says, "Are you from the forest, my friend?"
No.
Then you will be fine. And she kind of just ignores him after that. She's not concerned about Feliks.
Feliks, do you have magic in your nature?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No, that's kind of one of my weak points. You know, it's a gnome thing, but not this gnome. No magic. Never really been good at it. So you're from the forest, so you're like technically from this outside the walls, but in this area.
Yes, relatively. But like I say, where I come from, there's a lot more world than involves Highguard. We would never occupy ourselves with the daily to-dos of the people here. Our life is too long to even notice. It's like a fly.
Yeah, no, humans, very short lives.
Very short lives.
Small.
Sad. It's sad.
It's terrible.
Sad.
It's terrifying. I couldn't. Yeah, short shelf life, those humans. But, you know,
I feel bad for them.
They have fun.
Yeah.
They make the most of it.
They have to make the most of it. But it's hard to have them understand us and vice versa when the stakes are so incredibly different.
Well, then perhaps you can take tonight as an opportunity to have fun with the humans. You picked a night for it, that's for sure. Or you can leave. It's up to you.
Will this earring make me look like them?
No, it will not change your appearance. It will only allow you to exist unnoticed. You will not become invisible. It will merely give you the advantage that you seek to blend into the crowd. But like I said, if you decide to call attention to yourself in any way, then the effects will disappear, and it will become a normal earring.
I thank you for this gift, lady. Did you create this?
She smiles and she says, I am no jeweler, but... And she glances at the front door as if she's almost worried someone might be listening. She says, there are those of us who do still practice in Highguard.
What? I understand.
And she nods and she says, I hope you will be discreet. I thank you for your company. And then she kind of gestures for the door as if she's ready for you to leave now.
Yeah, and I do.
I follow Delaelia outside, and Felix calls out to her a little bit, discreetly. But well, I don't really know much about elven culture or any of this big bad wolf energy you've got going on. But it sounds like people could get hurt if this doesn't get taken care of. So if you ever need help, someone to cook some food on the road, just let me know. I'd love to help. This sounds like a worthy cause to help out with. I'd love to help out.
I appreciate your offer, and I may need an ally. Shall we spend the evening together?
At the festival?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds great.
Yeah. Preferably not sexually after. Thank you.
Oh, he knew that.
Wait, I have a question.
Yes.
Is the king the problem, or is he a symptom of the problem?
Elesarial looks sad when you ask that question, and she says, I cannot say, but I will say this. There are forces at work beyond Highguard. I can feel it. And while the king is not the man he used to be, he has suffered terribly.
What happened to the queen?
We flash to the present, and you're sitting at the table now with Elesarial and Feliks and all those people that I described before that I won't describe again. And Feliks, you are sitting at the table. What are you doing, Feliks?
Felix is having a good time. He's mostly watching though. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of people here, and especially after the conversation with Delaelia and
Theia?
no,
Elesarial?
Elesarial?
The elven woman?
Yes.
Yeah, Elesarial.
Elesarial. He's a little more on edge now. Like, this has become less of like a vacation and more like he does want to help, and he wants to help Delaelia, and so he's kind of in work mode a little bit. Mm-hmm. But he's still having a good time. He's drinking, he's eating, he's loving the music and the performances. And especially after being out on the road alone with just a goat for a long time, this is a really nice change of pace for him. So he's just really kind of enjoying the festivities right now.
Wonderful. So Feliks, as you are enjoying the festivities, you feel someone tap on your shoulder behind you. What do you do?
I turn around.
And behind you, you see Hilda, your friend from the inn. Hilda is the young woman you spoke to when you first came to Highguard, and you made a deal with her that if you helped Sabine, she would let you sleep in the cupboard.
That's right.
So Hilda is standing behind you, Feliks, and she has changed into a different outfit. She is actually now wearing a very long, flowy robe. She has her hair were in little Princess Leia buns, and she has a little stuffed owl on her shoulder that she may have made herself out of like pine cones or like whatever she was able to find, and it's been like attached to her shoulder, and and that's what she looks like, and she has her arms crossed and she's looking at you and she says, well, did you do what you said you were going to do?
Yes, I did. If it was to Sabine's satisfaction, yes. Helped with the wood and got the bonfire going. You look fantastic. Did you make the little owl yourself?
I did. And she grins and she like looks at her little owl and kind of like pokes it with her finger, and she says, I'm in the pageant tonight.
Oh, the one with the princess in it.
Yeah, Princess Theia.
Wow. So what exactly are you doing in the pageant? What's the pageant story?
I don't have any speaking roles, but it's like the story that we're supposed to do every year. We haven't done it in a long time, but I get to be one of the actors, and she's very proud of this.
Wow.
You can tell.
You're an actress. That is so impressive. I wish I could act, but not good at it. I'm a terrible liar.
And she kind of like tilts her head and looks at you, and then she turns to Sabine and she says, did he do what he said he was going to do? And Sabine laughs, and she's still playing with Ramsey. She's very into Ramsey. She seems to very much love little animals, and so she laughs and she says, yes, the little man helped me. Thank you, Feliks. Thank you very much, my friend. And she says, Hilda, break a leg in the pageant. I know you'll be wonderful. And Hilda beams and kind of twirls her robes, and she skips off towards the stage.
Sweet.
Delaelia leans into Elesarial and says, what is this mummery?
Are you inquiring about the pageant?
Yes.
She nods and she says, you might want to ask Harlow. My child is the one who will be facilitating the events tonight.
Oh.
She says, sit and watch, and you will learn something, I'm sure. All right, so we're going to shift back to Princess Theia. Princess Theia, you are standing in the entrance hall to the palace. As we said, you were preparing to make your grand entrance with the rest of the nobility. You see your brother, you see Duke Roger, you see the people of the court, the ladies and the lords that you're not, she's sticking out her tongue for the audience, just sticking out her tongue, that you're not quite fond of. Princess Theia, you are in your costume for the pageant, and you are standing by a horse.
Well, at least I have a horse. Wait, how am I going to ride this horse? Am I supposed to ride this horse?
You're waiting for someone to help you up onto the horse so the horse can take you down the hill to the town square where you will then get off the horse, because the nobility can't just walk down the hill. That would look bad. So everyone's
to be fair, I can hardly walk, period. So
and so you're standing by this horse, and you can you roll let's do some rolling. I want to do some rolling in here. Can you roll a perception check for me?
Which one is that again?
20. Yeah, you're gonna grab your
that
D20.
one? Is it this guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the die you're gonna use the most.
Cool.
The D20.
Why am I so bad at this? I
You
got
roll
a
a
4.
And then you add your perception to it.
Yeah.
So it's 6.
I got a 6. I'm super perceptive.
Awesome. Luckily, there's people around. So you're looking around, but I think maybe part of your hair is a little bit in your face because Mavry tried to do something with it to like put it all up, and it's just falling out because your hair. Tell me about your hair. Give us a. Dang it! I didn't ask you guys to describe your characters. We'll get to that. I'll have you do it. Lydia.
Yeah, so Theia, I mean, she's a 16-year-old. She's gawky. She's kind of average height. I'd say like about 5'3" on the shorter end of average height. And she's got kind of a mane of brown hair. It's pretty frizzy. And so Mavry, the only way that they can kind of tame it is by putting it into a bunch of braids. So my guess is that she has tried to do a braid. But like I said, frizz. There's lots of frizz. And then this costume is like super tight in areas it shouldn't be, and super not tight in areas where it probably should have a little more support. And like the knees are together, so it's like I think they were trying to go with mermaid style, but basically I can't walk. or really do anything. So I'm going to need some assistance getting on that horse. Also, I have no idea how I'm going to ride on that horse because I don't know if I can bend.
And as you're having these thoughts, as you're trying to like blow your hair out of your face, you see across the room two new figures that you've never met before, but you know based on your conversations earlier this day that you are expecting guests for the festival today. And from across the room, you see a young man and a young woman. Both of them have red hair. The young man looks to be about your brother's age, and he is quite handsome. He's taller than your brother, a bit broader than your brother, where Prince Dashing is more of a boy band type of cute. This guy across the room is more like a movie star actor kind of cute, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so you see this man, and then beside him stands a woman who is smaller in stature. She has very delicate features, and she has long, flowing red hair that goes down to her waist. And you would know that this is most likely the visiting prince and princess from a neighboring kingdom called Luminary.
Luminary.
So you see those across the room. But before you can really say or do anything, because you're still stuck, someone comes up behind you, and you hear a, well, well, well.
Well, I'm going to turn and see who that is.
It's your Uncle Duke Roger.
Oh, well, that's good. I'm glad to see him.
And he has his hands on his hips, and he's just shaking his head, and he says, what have they done to you?
I don't know. They got me in this dress, and I'm all trapped, and I have to get on that horse, and I don't honestly know if I can bend. Can you like hide me or something?
And he grins, and instead of hiding you, he picks you up by your waist and sets you up on the horse, because your Uncle Roger is a tall man. He is a tall, broad, muscular man. Where your father, the king, is rather thin and a little frail looking, Duke Roger is the exact opposite. He is athletic, he is broad, and he can just pick you up and plop you right on that horse.
Thanks, Uncle Roger.
You're welcome. And then he looks over his shoulder, and he looks back to you, and he draws closer, and he says, Theia, I have something for you.
What?
And he reaches into his pocket, and he takes out a pendant. It is a familiar symbol to you. It is 3 circles, kind of like the Olympics, but it's in a straight line. The first and the third circle are made of gold, and the middle circle has a stone in it. What color do you think the stone is?
Blue.
It is a blue stone in the center of it, and he holds it in front of you. He's holding both ends of the chain in his big meaty hands, and he offers it towards you, and he says, "This belonged to your mother."
It's beautiful. Thank you.
May I?
Yeah.
And because he's very tall, he's able to put it on your neck, and he clasps it. And you know he's telling the truth because you've seen this necklace before on the portrait of your mother in the astronomy tower. And you've never seen this necklace before in person.
Where did you find it?
He draws closer again, and he keeps his voice kind of low. You see him, he keeps looking back at your father, who is standing further away, just surveying everything. He's already up on his horse, just kind of watching everything with a very stern expression. And he says, "We found this the night we went to look for your mother. And your father told me to throw it away, but I didn't, because I thought that one day you might want it. And even though this dress is ridiculous," he smiles, "you look so much like your mother right now. So I thought this was the perfect occasion to give my favorite niece a special present."
Thank you. I don't know what to say. So Theia's very red right now. But very thankful. And she's kind of looking at the necklace like, that's like the one little piece of her mom that she has, because her dad has probably tossed most of the other things.
Yeah. And so now, Theia, you have your necklace and you're on your horse, and you can tell that the procession is about to get started. So your uncle, Roger, flashes you another smile, and he goes back to his own horse. And the procession begins to go down the hill towards the villagers. And so we're going to pan back to the village square. Delaelia and Feliks, you can feel the crowd shifting as everyone's turning their attention towards the palace gates. From the palace gates, the processional begins to travel down towards the village square. You see all of these beautiful horses with nobility on them. There are knights, there are ladies. You see the king, you see the duke. Everyone is cheering and clapping and standing. And of course, very prominently featured, you see Prince Dashwood. And so everyone stands around you in honor of the royalty entering the village square, and they clap and they cheer, and it's just quite a wonderful occasion. And as the nobility enter, they begin to situate themselves around the table. And so everyone gets situated. Everyone starts to tuck in because something's about to happen. The festival's about to be. They're about to start the festival, officially kick it off. And the Duke, Roger, he takes the center stage and he addresses the crowd and he says, "Citizens of Highguard," he's very charming, "we gather this evening to celebrate the coming of spring. I believe I speak for all of us when I say we are ready to bid farewell to the ice and snow. But we also gather here tonight to celebrate the strengthening of bonds. Please assist me in welcoming our honored allies, His and Her Royal Highnesses, Prince Leonardo and Princess Rosalind of the Kingdom of Luminary." And everyone bursts into applause. And the red-headed prince and princess you saw earlier, they stand and they acknowledge the crowd, and the princess gives a little wave, and the prince gives a rather big kind of friendly wave, and he smiles, bright smile.
Bet she's good at being social and stuff.
What was that?
I said, I bet she's really good at being social and stuff. I bet she's a perfect princess. I bet she's awesome.
Does Theia say that under her breath?
Maybe.
Duke Roger doesn't hear. He says, "Let us honor our very own Prince Dashwood, for today he has slain the wretched wolf of the enchanted forest that has tormented our farmers and frightened our children. Because of his bravery, we may feast without fear." And everyone bursts into even louder applause, and Dashing stands, and he gives one of those like finger guns the audience. And there you can
have like a sparkle in his teeth when he smiles.
Yes, every time.
My shiny teeth and me.
Yes. Oh my gosh, Rebecca, I love you so much. That's Dashing. Dashing is Chip Skylark
With
from
blonde hair.
With blonde
my
hair
gosh.
from A Fairly Odd Parents and a sword. And then Duke Roger turns to the king, who's at the center of the table, and he says, "Now," and the king steps forward. And the king, he is a smaller man, a thinner man. He's rather pale. He has hair similar to yours, Theia. It's like a dark brown.
Mm-hmm.
He looks older. His hair is actually peppered with gray and white, and he has the appearance of a man older than you would think he is, and a very stern expression on his face. And he says simply to the crowd, "Let the feast begin," without any enthusiasm. And everyone applauds again, and the feast has finally kicked off. So, my friends, the feast is happening. It's in full swing. What do you want to do?
So Feliks is like clapping and shit, right?
Yeah, I was clapping, and
Yeah.
then I see you kind of. He's
So
just like.
Delaelia just like glares at Feliks and he stops clapping.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just kind of like, oh.
So Delaelia leans over to Feliks and says, "I don't believe that wolf that was slain is the problem. These people are in danger. If they were in danger before, then they are still in danger now."
Okay. Do you think maybe we should kind of ask around, maybe ask some questions of some of the villagers, or at least maybe take a peek while everyone's here?
Yeah, maybe do a perimeter.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll walk at the perimeter and keep an eye out in the dark, keeping in mind that I have dark vision.
Oh, okay. And it's not like dark yet. It's like sun setting, so it's pretty.
Like dusky.
It's
Technically,
dusky.
I do too. Felix grabs two tankards of ale or whatever and pops one in her hand so they can go strolling and it doesn't quite look as
Okay.
suspicious.
I take it.
So
you've got like the temple on one side, you've got the abandoned conservatory on the other, and then all of like the buildings behind you, and then the palace opposite all of the shops and things.
It's so big. Like, embarrassingly large.
Yeah.
What's 21, the barn?
Let's see. Yeah, that is the stable.
Okay.
Where's the festival pyre? Is that over here?
You're like in 2023 is like the village square, so that's where like
Okay.
all of these festivities are happening.
Cool.
So, what do you think? You walk the perimeter.
Should we roll for it?
Yeah, go ahead and do some rolling.
Do you want us to roll what?
Maybe perception check.
I'll do perception. Do you want to help me do perception?
I would love to help you do
So that way I'll have
Yeah.
advantage instead. So 19 and 20. Oh, a nat 20 plus my 5
Oh,
with
okay.
my advantage from her. So
So
25, nat 20.
So you guys are walking the perimeter. You see a lot of really happy people. You see people. You see people dancing. You see people drinking. You see a lot of the soldiers that were training earlier are now here, and they're drinking, and they're like trying to get like the young maidens to dance with them. So there's some like flirting going on. You see children playing. There's like a group of kids that are like dancing together and like playing tag together. It seems like
Felix unconsciously kind of tugs at his hat.
Aww.
He's sad.
Because they played keep away with it.
He doesn't
earlier.
want it to get snatched again. It's a nice hat.
It seems like everyone is here. Like if you look at like the center of the town and then you look back towards the entrance to the town, it seems like you don't really see much movement going on, and like all of the shops have closed down because the festival started. So it really seems like everyone is here at this point. I will say, Kelsea, because you know him, Delaelia does not see Devlin in the mix. He's
Okay.
not in the crowd of people.
The bard.
Devlin was the carter who
The
you
Carter,
came
the
in
other
with.
halfling.
Yeah, he's a halfling. And just so everyone knows, I meant to do this last time. He started to become Irish when he went into the tavern. I realized that was important. That he's also a halfling with an Irish accent. So
Okay.
there's a little family.
Uh-huh.
He got a little. So he's going to have an Irish accent now, just so you guys know.
Okay.
If he pops up again. So you don't see Devlin. You do see. If you're looking towards the table with the nobility, I would say you do notice all of the humans up there. The stark contrast between what they're wearing and what everyone else is wearing. They're very clearly quite wealthy. You see the young ladies, the young gentlemen. There are knights sitting up at the table. You can tell they're knights just kind of based on, they're not in full armor, but you can, I guess Delaelia might not know they're knights, but you can see that they're, because I don't know do elves have knights? Like, are there elven knights in her culture? Would they just be called warriors?
Yeah, there aren't really knights like that.
So she might notice that there are some very, very athletic and strong-looking men on the stage, as well as some
That look like nobility.
Yes, that look like nobility. And you would see the king, center of it all. You know that these are the nobility. The king does not look like a fun guy. He doesn't look mean. He just looks very stern. He's not smiling. He's not really like, he doesn't look like he's enjoying the festival at all. He's sitting in his chair, drinking from his goblet and just kind of surveying everything that's happening.
So he is watching.
So he is watching.
Okay.
But he's not really engaging with anyone. Everyone else seated at the tables, at the nobility table, they're talking to each other, and they seem to be laughing and feasting on fine decadent foods. And you do notice that there's one girl in a questionable outfit, like a white dress, who seems kind of maybe like she's not like having a necessarily a good time. I want to like shift over to Theia real quick. Theia,
Yes.
you are seated at this table. On one side of you is the prince, the redheaded prince, Prince Leonardo, and on the other side of you is your uncle Duke Roger, and he's currently like engaging Dashing and the king in a conversation that the king's not really taking part in, but they're both talking on either side of him. And the Prince Leonardo he kind of leans over next to you, and he says, "It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, princess."
Yeah, you too. Welcome to Highguard.
And he kind of goes to like hold your hand and like give it a kiss.
No, that's okay. I've been sick lately, and it's bad cold. I wouldn't want you to catch it.
And he looks a little freaked out, a little concerned, and he says, "Oh, sorry." So he looks at your outfit and he says, "I take it you'll be performing tonight."
Yeah. Well, I mean, my mom used to do it, and it's tradition for some female noble to open the festival, and I don't. Yes, I.
You seem really excited about it.
So excited. Just can't wait.
He's just looking at you, and he's kind of like a slow smile spreads across his face, and he says, "Between you and me, I would much rather be down there dancing than sitting up here looking important."
Oh my God, yes. I just don't know why. Like, why do we have to be separate? I don't know. I met some really nice people today. Well, I met this this gnome. I think he said his name was Felix, and he had this really cute goat. And I would like to go talk to them, but instead I have to sit up here and look important, which I've never been very good at. Which means that the other nobility are probably laughing about me behind my back, but it's fine.
He smiles. He says, "You're a very interesting princess." And he continues to talk to you. And so, Delaelia, I would say you've witnessed like an interaction. You can see this kind of interesting looking girl, this girl in this interesting looking outfit is having an engaged conversation with the redheaded man. So you can kind of see the dynamics at play between these people up here. And with that natural 20, I will say you don't really see anybody standing guard right now. It seems like everyone's kind of just having fun.
Okay.
Oh.
Then I want to get to a high point and see if I can see any dangers.
Okay. So let's see. So there's some trees around here. There's the temple. Like when you say high point, are you thinking like you're
I
going
want to
to
be able to
climb a building?
see everything at once.
Do you want to climb a tree? Do you want to climb a building? There's not like if you want to get higher than you are now, you would either have to like get on top of a building or get on top of a tree or like go up into the palace. But you'd have to go past, like everyone would see you walking up the hill.
You'd have
So
to
it's
do
kinda like
something
that's upstage.
suspicious.
So
What
like
if I go up on the hill?
So you can go, there's like some trees as you go further up the hill, like before you get to the palace wall. Does Delaelia climb trees?
Yeah.
So you want to try climbing a tree?
Yeah.
Cool. Let's roll to climb tree.
Survival check?
Sure.
Okay. That's a 15. Nope, it's a 16. Sorry.
Okay, so we've got Felix with you. Please describe how this happens for me.
So, Felix, do you want to keep watch down there and I'll keep watch up here?
Sounds good. You do the tree thing. I'll stay down here on the ground
Delaelia
where it's
finds
safe.
footholds in the tree, knowing, as she does, how trees work. It's actually her favorite terrain, so she has advantage on
Oh, okay.
checks involving that. I guess I could have rolled again. Do I need to?
No,
Is it-
you got
I
it.
passed. Okay. I passed.
Yeah, no, 16's enough to climb a tree, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. And the tree throws you off a bit. It's a whomping willow.
I was reading Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows this morning.
Yes.
Cried.
Of course you did. It's so sad.
But yeah, just finding footholds and getting to know the tree a little bit. And she wants to get high enough where she sort of can't be seen, but also can see everything.
Okay. So she
And her
is...
clothes should make her blend in a little bit.
Yes, and that earring, I would say that as long as no one spots you. Can you roll a stealth check since you want to be sneaky about it?
Oofed. That's a 9.
Okay, so I would say she's climbing this tree.
And she goes,
I think maybe like as she's climbing the tree, she like one of the branches breaks and like falls down and like hits someone on the head.
Oh, I'm under you.
And it's Felix.
Oh!
So you
Felix just he wasn't expecting it, so it's unfortunately a loud ow.
okay.
and instead of drawing attention to you, it draws attention to Felix.
Yeah.
And like near passerbyers are like, "Are you okay?"
Fine. Yeah, it's just don't stand under the trees. They're
Vicious.
they're vicious. Felix is gonna take a couple of steps away from the tree. One, to avoid the branches, but two, in case he's brightly colored. He knows he's pretty obvious. He's gonna kind of move a little bit away so that he doesn't draw the attention to the tree she's in.
Cool.
Perfect. But you are situated up in that tree, so now you can have a bird's eye view of the town. It's similar to this picture right here. You can see like all of the different buildings.
Cool.
You do see that it looks like most everybody is here. It gets darker, and you do have dark vision, so you can still see, but it gets darker as it goes further away from this area here, because this is where all the lanterns are. But really, it doesn't seem like anybody is out and about in the town itself. From up here, Delaelia, you do notice a small figure. Just as like after a couple minutes of watching, you notice a small figure start to walk away from the festivities back towards the inn, actually, where you had a drink with Devin earlier. You see a figure leave, and it looks like they're walking back straight down Main Street back towards the inn.
Okay. Does it look like a halfling?
It does look small. It looks like a child. Or a teenager, maybe.
Oh, like Hilda.
It does look like Hilda. and you think to yourself, wait a minute, wasn't there a girl with Princess Leia braids here earlier? And it looks like she's walking away from the festivities.
Well, I'm going to go over to her.
Okay. So you have to climb out of the tree now.
I know.
Can you roll to climb out of the tree?
She just swan dives up.
That's going to be a 5.
Ooh, okay. So Delaelia, in your excitement, because you've found something that looks suspicious, you are trying to get down the tree fast, and another branch breaks. Someone's just not watering these trees. I don't know.
Awful.
And this time you do fall. I'm gonna say you fall, and then you kind of hit another branch, and then you like hit the ground. I'm probably gonna say you take like 2 points damage.
Okay.
How many hit points do you have?
18.
Okay, let's say 1 point damage.
Can I
Let's
just
just say it's you're a little, nothing's broken. You're just a little bruised.
Yeah.
Is Felix is Felix down there?
Well, I just want to say I'm so glad Felix moved out for my
You're about to have a full-grown elf on you.
Yeah, no, like I mean, he was walking a little. He walked a few paces away, just kind of nursing his head, and then just behind him. And so Felix is gonna turn around and oh my gosh, are you okay?
I'm fine. Like, tries to get up and, like, look chill. Like it didn't
And
just happen.
That was really
It's
and
a fucking tree. I should be able to climb a tree.
yeah. I've
and
heard that
you
helps.
do catch the attention of someone else. Delaelia, you as you stand up and kind of like rub whatever part of your body hurts, you notice that there are a group of men drinking close by, and you've caught their attention, and one of them is the guard who didn't want to let you into the city when you were first coming inside. Him and his baby-faced friend have been drinking with their fellow guards who are off duty, and the guy, he looks at you and he makes eye contact with you, Delaelia, and he says, "Oi, don't I know you?" And what do you do?
I'm going to just say. Is performance
Yeah,
good for
Felix-
me?
jump in?
Felix can jump in.
Woo!
I moved the whole microphone. Jesus Christ. Who's behind the light? Felix is gonna, because he has the 2 tankards in his hand. Felix is just like, oh, careful there, sweetie. You know how it is. Some of these girls, they just, can't handle their liquor. She thought she could climb a tree. Turns out not all elves are good at it.
And the guard looks down at you, Felix, and he looks skeptical, and then he's like, yeah, you know, women. And he's kind of drunk, so he like starts laughing with you, and the rest of the table starts laughing at you, Delaelia. They're all just like, yeah, women can't climb trees. And they start to drink.
And so, yeah, Delaelia just laughs like, hee. And then tries to get out of there.
All right, sweetie, let's go get you some
go.
water.
and
Good save, Felix.
Hello, listeners. We are nearing the end of episode 1. I wanted to take a quick break. I don't have any sponsors to thank. Wouldn't it be cool if we had sponsors for our show? I do want to thank some of our supporters. Again, thank you to Nick Price for sitting with me and helping me figure out how to use GarageBand. Thank you, Ryan Botnwick-Caruza, for helping me when I was initially trying to figure out what kind of microphones to use. A big thank you to my mom, because moms rule. Thank you, Mom, for lending us equipment. Thank you for all of your support. You really are fantastic. A big thank you to Krista Poyman. I believe we will have some original compositions by Krista in this episode. She is a fantastic musician. Thank you, Krista. If you are enjoying this episode, fantastic. If you want to express how much you're enjoying this show, even better, tweet us at The Spell Pod. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. Post a status. Share the page with your friends. Share the episode with your friends. If you do, and you tag us, I will take your name and put it on my NPC name list, and you could become a character in the show. Well, not you, but your name could be used for one of our non-player characters. All right, let's get back to the story. And do you head off towards Hilda?
Mm-hmm.
And so as you guys head off towards Hilda, we're going to shift back to Princess Theia. So Princess Theia, you're still talking to, his name is Prince Leonardo. He's been engaging you in this conversation. He seems friendly enough. I shouldn't tell you that. I should just be that way. So you guys have been talking, and Prince Leonardo, he says, so tell me, Princess Theia, what do you do? What do you love?
I mean, I am a princess. I mean, it's kind of a personal question.
And he puts his hands up and he says, I don't mean to pry. I only meant to engage you in conversation. You seem like a very interesting, lovely young woman.
Oh, thanks. I don't know. I don't know that I do anything really interesting. I just kind of do the whole princess thing and hang out around the castle and do what my dad tells me to do. What do you like to do, Leonardo?
He smiles and he says, I'm an adventurer at heart. I long to see the world, to venture where no man has ventured before. But I, too, do the prince thing. But that's not all that I am. Not just a prince.
Wow. I didn't think that people like us could do that, you know? I mean, this kingdom is so closed off, and where would you go if you could go anywhere?
He looks out towards the forest and he says, I want to go where nobody's been before. I want to see new things. I want to discover new creatures. I want it all.
Yeah, me
Wouldn't
too.
you?
Yeah. I just don't know if my dad would let me.
And he looks a little bit like towards your father, and he looks back at you and he says, I'm sure you're aware that our visit to Highguard isn't exclusively for pleasure. We also come in hopes of creating an alliance of sorts.
Oh. Wow, that's I'm gonna go get some more water. And she gets up and she hobbles away.
Okay, and he kind of like looks after you like, oh, what did I say? And so you go get some water. Princess, where do you go to get some water?
I don't know. It sounded like marriage, and I don't so I'm gonna see if I can find somebody to talk to who doesn't want to marry me.
And as you are doing that, so as this is kind of happening, you guys are heading towards Hilda, and she's getting away from this Prince Leonardo who seems maybe like he's got some ulterior motives. Mm-hmm. Another hush kind of goes over the crowd, and Feliks and Delaelia, you kind of have to like stop for a minute because like you realize like everyone else is kind of like looking at the stage, and if you keep moving, you might be noticed. So Harlow, the half-elf priest, has stepped out onto the stage. I don't know if there's a gender-neutral word for priest. There's priest and there's priestess. Is priest gender-neutral?
Actor, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Harlow, them, steps out onto the stage, and the crowd goes silent. Harlow is wearing a lovely, flowing, light blue robe. They look very excited. And
everybody else gets such good costumes, and I'm stuck in this weird like.
And as this happens, the Princess Theia, you, as you're trying to escape, you run into Lawrence, and he takes you by the hands. He kind of scoops your hands up, and he says, "Are you ready, Princess, for your debut?"
Oh, I was born ready, Lawrence. Let's get this over. I mean, let's do this.
And he leads you to the stage as all of the other performers, most of which are children who have been roped into doing this pageant, and you and Dashing, step forward onto the stage. So.
And Delaelia is like, Hilda was supposed to be in this performance. So.
And she's not on the stage.
Yeah.
You guys would notice that she's obviously not on the stage
So-
because you saw her walk
Felix
away.
is very concerned.
Moves quicker toward
Yeah.
the end to get to Hilda.
Okay, so you guys keep going after Hilda. Okay.
Yeah.
So as you guys are doing that, I'll tell you what starts to happen on stage. So all of the actors are lined up on stage. Harlow is standing in front. Lawrence is standing close by, underscoring on his mandolin. Something beautiful and ethereal. And Harlow steps forward and they say, "Friends, we gather tonight under the glorious moon to praise our mother, Lady of Life, the goddess Estrella." And Harlow looks to you, Theia, and gestures for you to step forward, just to step forward. Do you?
Yeah, it's not a pretty step, but I do it.
And then Harlow continues, "And the Lord of Light, soldier of the sun, the mighty Regal." And then Dashing steps forward, and Dashing's costume is much more, he's wearing like armor and it's golden. He looks like some kind of Greek hero. It's very flattering.
Why does everyone else get a flattering costume?
He looks very attractive. All of the girls in the audience, swoon.
They're pigeons.
They turn into pigeons and they swoon.
It's magic.
Oh God, it's the curse. No.
And then Harlow continues. They continue. "When the world first began, the mother, Our Lady of Life, the goddess Estrella, brought into existence 6 children to aid her in watching over Eos and all life that graced its surface. We are blessed to follow in the path of the goddess and her children. Spring light marks the return of balance to light and darkness in our realm. Regal, her firstborn, grows stronger as the days grow longer, and all of Eos grows warmer and more fertile as the mother takes her maiden form." And Felix and Delaelia, are you guys already gone? Do you not hear any of this then? Do you stop and listen, or do you keep going after Hilda?
I'm trying to hear it while we're going,
Yeah.
but
I will
once we're
say
too
they
far-
don't have microphones, and they're not using any kind of magical
Right.
audio enhancement.
I don't hear it then.
No,
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't hear it
I'm
either.
worried about Hilda.
Yeah, no,
She was
that's
excited
a
about this.
priority.
Okay.
Yeah.
She could be in danger.
So Harlow continues, "Springtime? Nope. Springlight is a time of change and transition, and so we also offer our praise to the unknown one, the merciful shepherd, her second-born, Numair." And then one of the children on stage steps forward. "As the buds begin to bloom and the birds nest in the trees, we must offer our tribute to the huntress, her third-born, goddess of nature, Kildora." And another child steps forward. "For those who seek truth and value curiosity, we..." And that's about the time Harlow realizes that Hilda is not on stage. And Lawrence and Harlow look at each other like, "Oh no, what do we do?" And so Lawrence just kind of steps forward and pretends that he was supposed to be there the whole time. And Harlow continues, "Let us pray for a bountiful harvest. Let us pray for the lovers and those seeking to build their families. Let us honor Eos through our compassion for her lands and all of her people. Most importantly, let us seek to always walk in his light and in the warmth of her love. May it guide us here tonight and forevermore, so mote it be." And everyone in the crowd goes, well, not everyone, like some people in the crowd go, "So mote it be." But it's not like a big loud chorus. It's like a little under your skull, like, "So mote it be."
It's like a Catholic, so mote it be.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's like a Catholic, "So mote it be." And now, Harlow steps aside and they gesture to you, Theia, and they say, "And now our princess will grace us with her song." And Theia, I have to ask you, has Theia actually practiced any sort of song?
I mean, she meant to. She practiced it in her head. She might have sung it in the shower.
Yield and shower.
Yield,
bucket with holes in it.
shower. It is.
Yeah.
It's one of your servants just
Yeah,
pouring
it's
water
just a
through.
it's a line of servants with tea kettles.
And it's called shower, but with an E at the end.
Yeah.
Shower.
Yeah. So no, I mean, no.
Okay, so Theia, this might be a good time for us to kind of discuss.
How embarrassing.
I'm aware.
So
Glad that's not me up there.
Yeah. This
So-
is literally my nightmare.
Right,
Like, what's
right?
happening right now is
Had
I
no
can't
idea.
sit still.
Oh my god.
I can't calm down.
So Princess Theia
Have some wine.
has Princess Theia metagame. This okay, we haven't really talked about this, but so magical, you have surges that can happen. And
Oh no.
in the game, the mechanic wise, usually what happens is if we're in combat and if Lydia were to roll a 1, I could give her a magic surge. Because you don't I feel like for our storytelling, Princess Theia doesn't necessarily have to be fighting to have a magic surge. I want to suggest that under times of extreme stress, and I will always let you be like, yes, this would be one of those times, because I don't want to be like, you're having magic surge right now. Under times of extreme stress, Princess Theia's magic surges can happen. And so what I want you to do, first what I want you to do, Lydia, is I want you to roll a performance check.
Is that with the 20?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What
I
is-
got a 10.
Okay, you got a 10. And
That's
then
not terrible. Performances +4. I got a 14.
Okay, cool. So Princess Theia, you step up to the center of the stage nervously, and I want you to describe what you think. A 14, I would say, like, she's not like the belle of the ball, but it's not bad. So describe us how you think that translates.
I mean, okay, so she's going to check in with the necklace. She's going to touch the blue stone because mom power, mom love. And then thankfully the song that she has in her brain doesn't have words, so I think she's just going to sing it. And
You don't have to actually sing if you don't want to.
I'm
but
going to say it goes something like that. But like prettier.
so you're singing Princess Theia, and the people in the town are kind of like, oh okay. Yeah. You feel a kind of familiar feeling.
Oh no.
And I think it's because maybe you glance over your shoulder to kind of check in and see like how it like Duke Roger, your brother, to see what everyone thinks. And
It's Leonardo back there.
Leonardo is back there and he's watching, and the princess is watching, that the perfect looking princess is watching, and your uncle is, everyone's watching, but the person who I think you see most clearly is your dad, and he's not smiling. In fact, he looks really angry, and I think that throws you. And so I want you to roll a d20 first. I think this will be our first surge because we haven't done the surge before, so I kind of have to learn how to do this too. So let me see here.
Well, that was unintentional, but here we go. I got a 14.
Okay, and then metagame. The thing, she's supposed to be able to roll a number between 1 and like 100. How do we do that with these die?
That's this one.
Okay,
So you do that, and then a D10.
Oh, so that doesn't, the D20 doesn't come into play at all?
And then you do this one, and that's a 46.
a 46. Okay. Theia rolled a 46. Let's see what that means.
I don't know what that means.
I love this.
Oh, this is so exciting. This is my
wild
favorite
magic
part.
mechanic?
Mm-hmm.
I've heard
Yeah.
stories,
Love.
but I've
Yeah.
never seen
Love
wild
this.
magic.
And it's funny because the Adventure Zone just started a new season, and Griffin's character has wild magic. And I swear that we
It's fun.
didn't decide this like before. I didn't. We decided this before I knew that. There we go. Wild magic surge. Okay, so 46 was the number, right?
Mhm.
Let me see what I wrote down.
Oh no, I don't like that laugh.
No, it's fun.
That's a bad laugh.
It's just fun because it's like, there are like 50 different options of what this could be. So if you roll a 45 or a 46, Theia, as you're singing, you look back towards the audience. You have this familiar feeling. I think it feels maybe like anxiety, dread, something. And what do you think? In the pit of your stomach?
Yeah, probably. I'm feeling it now.
And as you're singing, you can feel yourself beginning to lift off the ground.
Yes.
No.
Your dad's about to murder you.
I know.
And suddenly, Theia, you are levitating
Yes.
above the stage because you have cast Levitate on yourself.
Oh no.
What will become of the floating princess? Where is Hilda? And why isn't she on the stage? Find out next time on Spellbound. Music used in this episode includes Spellbound by Vindsvept of Bandcamp.com, Traveler and Tranquil Fields, Peaceful and Tense by Alexander Nakarada at SerpentSoundStudios.com, Folkround, Evening Fall Harp, The Rule, and Galway by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech, and Theia and Memory Song by Krista Poyman. Sound effects from Zapsplat.com. Thank you for listening.